Hey, all right. You are listening to the Deadman's Tome podcast, a show that's broadcast live from the ball sack of America. I'm your host, Mr. Deadman. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the movie, The Platform, that's on Netflix. We're talking about it, go into some depth. Spoiler alert here. There's going to be spoilers in this review. I try to keep it spoiler free. But you know, for a movie that's right there on Netflix, why do you watch a review when you could just watch the movie? Because you're curious if it's even worth your time. Well, let me tell you. It's about, 90 minutes long? And boy, does it let you down. You know what? I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. The ending fucking sucks. It is 90 minutes with no payoff. No payoff at all. Boom, done. Review over, right? No. Let's get into this. Let's get into it thicker. What makes it such a bad ending? The movie has a cool concept. The movie has a good premise, but it's muddled. It's messy. And we're going to get into that. Okay? Yeah, so it's muddled and messy right from the very beginning. Actually, no, back there. The beginning actually starts off pretty well. But the premise is muddled. Anyway, so if you don't know, this is a Spanish film. The Platform is a Spanish film. El Hoyo is the original title, The Hole, which would work just fine, but there's already a movie called The Hole, I believe. And it's not a porn. Anyway, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm able to pronounce the director's name right. Goddard Gaztelu. I'm not even trying. I can't pronounce his name. All right. Anyway, in the film, they have this vertical self-management center. It's essentially a tower, I guess. You don't know if it's above ground or in the ground, or how deep it goes in the ground. You know nothing about this facility. You get through the whole movie, you don't know a damn thing about the outside of this facility. Who's really running it? Who are the people running it? Like, what do they do exactly? You don't know any of that, really. You just know that there's some sort of administrator that, I guess, oversees it somehow. You know that people spend a lot of time preparing the food. This chef goes around in the very beginning of the film. You are greeted with like rich music, rich warm tones. While the movie has dull tones throughout, the most warm and welcoming you're going to find is going to be in the beginning of the film. And you have the chef who's walking around with all this food around him, like checking it, inspecting it, make sure it's top notch. Everyone up there seems pretty healthy, living lavishly, I guess. But that's all you really know. You don't know anything else about the outside area. No. There's one other thing you do get a glimpse of, and that is kind of a glimpse of the administration. Which, if this is what it is sad. It is fucking sad. All right. So there's a part in the film where the main character is sitting down talking to this woman because he's actively trying to enter this hellhole, this pit, because he thinks it's a great idea. I guess on the outside they don't have a lot of marketing or advertising about what this place really is. I don't know. Apparently, no one's leaking out information about what's really going on in this facility, I suppose. But if you're watching the live stream, what you see there is it looks like a parking garage. That's supposed to be where the screening process is for who gets selected. And keep in mind, the main character is trying to get admitted. Like, he keeps on asking, so am I admitted now? Like, he's actively wanting to enter because he wants to quit smoking and get a doctorate's degree. Okay. You don't have to enter a hellhole. You don't have to enter this vertical shaft into hell to get a doctor. So you could just, banks are handing out money. The government's handing out loans and money. Just take the debt, do your time, get your degree. You don't have to put yourself through eating leftovers, eating scraps after everyone's been stepping on it, spitting on it, peeing on it. You don't have to put yourself through starvation and cannibalism and stuff like that, or murder and death for doctorates. You could just get the debt and move on. But no, the guy's like, no, I want this doctorate degree, and I want to quit smoking. But my point about talking about this right now is that this is the glimpse you get about the administration. One person, one scene, and what does it tell you? Well, a picture's worth 1,000 words. It doesn't tell you much of anything. It doesn't tell you anything happy. Online degree mill, right? You can just do that. You're right, Aaron. You're right. The guy's a fucking idiot. In fact, one of my main gripes about this movie, if all the characters are fucking idiots, they don't make any sense. I watched this movie twice. The first time I watched it, I liked it. I liked the gore. I liked the brutality. I liked the intensity. The second time I watched it, none of the characters have really a proper motivation to be there. It doesn't make any sense why they would even be there in the first place, right? Unless the company, if there is a company or whatever, the government, I don't know what it is. We don't know what it is because the writer, the director didn't tell us what it is because he probably doesn't even know, okay? We have no idea who's running this and how they're, what they're telling the people on the outside. But it can't, look, if China can't even keep the information about their secret Muslim camps down, lock and key, then how is this government supposed to be doing that, right? I mean, or this company, whatever it is that's running this vertical shaft in this platform. Yeah. Let me relight the cigar. I was going on a rant there for a second. All right, there we go. Anyway, so we experience and learn about the vertical hell that is this hole through Go Ring. All the characters have weird names. Go Ring. Who decided, like I said, it would be a great idea to enter because he wants to quit smoking and wants a degree. All right. Now, he goes in voluntarily, and you're allowed to take one item with you. It could be anything, apparently. It could be a gun, a crossbow, it can be a samurai sword, katana. I don't know why I said it that way. It could be, I wonder if you said bazooka. I wonder if you said atomic bomb, if they just let you have that. Because it seems like, I guess it would have to be a personal possession. It's kind of fucked up, though. Out of all the things they don't let you to do there is smoking. So you're allowed to take any personal possession with you. But the administrators are like, once you enter, you can't smoke. I'm sorry. Smoking is something you can't do. But you can cannibalize, you can rape, you can murder, you could shit on someone's face. You could shit in someone's face. All those things you can do. But smoking a cigarette, no, man, that's not cool, man. That's secondhand. I will pay attention to the chat today. I promise you. By the way, did you get your Trump bucks today? I got mine today. Got some more cigars coming in. I hate most modern writing as well, as much as based on plot, coincidence, and convenience. Yeah, that is annoying. And that happens a lot in this movie. One of my major gripes about this movie is the motivation for the characters. We're going to get into this in a little bit. The main character's motivation is, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't fucking tell you. Point to the scene and maybe I could tell you then. Because it changes. So the one item that he decides to take with him is Don Quixote, which is look, it's a book you're going to read when you go to humanities or the literary courses. You're probably not going to read it willingly. It is a pretty good book, I'll admit that. But the character in that book is an idiot, is a deluded idiot that's trying to bring back chivalry of all things. but he fails, and he's like delusional, and it's kind of like the characters in this movie. They're all I'll get to that a little bit, but so one thing I want to point out again is our main guy volunteers for this stuff. That could not be stated more, okay? It really can't. Our main guy volunteers to go into this program that consists of eating dirty leftovers, mixed with spit, toe jam, going insane, cannibalism, all for a diploma. All for a fucking diploma. So, makes me wonder if he knew about what was really going on with this program on the outside. Maybe he didn't. But apparently, the administrator that screened him for admission into this program, because apparently they're not going to admit anybody. They ask you all sorts of stuff. Do you have food allergies or allergic to nuts? Do you have this, that? Because, they're not going to let anybody in. Just anybody. You have to pass through a test to go through this stuff, to enter this program. And he passed. Okay. But the person who screened him is in the fucking pit. Later on, I think level 33 or something, when he wakes up, which I'll get into the details of all that too. She's in the pit. Actually, time out. Let me get through all the details for fast. So, in this movie, in this pit, there's 333 levels. Okay, it's not told to us outright how many levels there are. We're kept in the dark about a lot of things. I do like that. I like how there's a lot of mystery, unknown, but it's weird that the people that would know don't know. It's kind of like, what? There's other elements in the movie that don't really make a whole lot of sense. We'll tackle that in a little bit. But so there's 333 levels, and there's one platform with food, a bunch of food for everyone to have at. Obviously, as you can imagine, and this is like a banquet table size, a banquet table with a bunch of food on it. Let me show you. For those watching the stream, let me put an image here. That way you can see it. On the podcast, I could describe it this way. Imagine like a queen-size bed covered with plates of food. Plates, and plates. Sometimes wine bottles and stuff. The occasional wine bottle. And everyone's supposed to have at this. Now, apparently, they're supposed to share. But if you've ever hosted a big party at your house or had a wedding or something where you had a large gathering and you ordered a bunch of food for everyone, you make sure that there's a motherfucker serving that food, because you know for damn sure people aren't going to share, right? When does that work? When does that happen? So the people at the bottom get nothing. If you're level 50 or below, you get nothing. So what do? Well, they're stuck there for a month, because apparently you stay at these levels for about a month or so. About a month after the month, you are randomly changed to another level at random. There's no rhyme or reason for it. It just happens. So it's not about what you've done. It's not about karma or anything. It just happened. Yeah, you're right about that, Aaron. You're right about that. You know what? Don Quixote. I took that book with me. Why did I take that book with me to my honeymoon? Like, why would I do that? But I read that when I was on the flight going to Cozumel, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Didn't get through all of it, but definitely there's a lot of funny scenes. Anyway, let's get it here. Okay, so now that you kind of understand what the premise is, so they stay on these levels for about a month, and after the month is over, they change the level. Okay, All right, so everyone has, I guess, a chance, so kind of sort of by random luck, to be top dog or bottom dog, and they're all living in this thing. Now, you would think some of these people would not be volunteers, but apparently, from all the characters that you've actually had dialogue with, that our main character has dialogue with, right, that we see him interact with, everyone is a volunteer of some sort. Everyone, even the first guy he meets, what's his name? The old guy, Trimagashi. He's a weird, short little old man who has a knife. He's like the shorter Hannibal Lecter, and he does eat people. He's done before, and he'll do it again. Well, even he was given a choice to enter this facility. He could either do, because he accidentally killed someone, he just threw a TV out of his window and it hit someone and killed him. Okay. He could do a 1-year sentence in a prison, or maybe it was even longer. You could go to prison for a little while, or do 1 year in this facility. So he chose this facility. Why? Now, I know the critics of that would say, well, it's because they're not being told the information. They don't know all the information. I would agree with you that. I would agree with you if it wasn't for the fact that this particular person, the administrator, even enters this facility, and she knew quite a bit about what happens. Now, she doesn't know everything. Apparently the administrator doesn't know about all the levels. But she knows that people are not sharing the food. She knows that people are violent and are killing each other. She knows this stuff. She talks about it. She's aware of it. So why would she actively volunteer to enter? Her story is, her motivation, or her reasoning is that she has cancer and she's tired of it. So what the hell? Are you kidding me? You could do all sorts of many things if you have cancer and you're tired with it. You could just down a bunch of pills. You could, go to mouth to mouth with a shotgun. You don't have to enter this facility. Oh, man. But she does. She does. And not only that, she takes her dog with her. She takes her fucking dog with her. Okay. I don't know why she did that. Like, I understand that some people are so connected with their pets that they would take them into wherever they go. I could think of some people like that. But this person knows how dirty, how violent, how unsafe this facility is. How people are starving. And that dog is a fucking wiener dog. That dog's nickname is food right there. And then apparently there's this crazy Asian chick that keeps on going down the floors, all the floors, every floor. Like I guess once a month, like she's on the rag or something. She sits on the platform, going all the way down, looking for her lost kid. Yeah, so she has a wiener dog. I gotta tell you, idiotic, dumb. Makes no sense why she would do anything like that. Makes no sense. She's more Don Quixote than our main guy. Until the very, very end. When our hero decides to do a completely unnecessary sacrifice for literally no one's benefit. No one's benefit at all. But we'll get to the end later. We'll get to the end. Highlights. Let's talk about highlights. Talk about what's good about this movie. Yeah, like they know enough to keep the story going at any given time. You're right. But okay, this movie has some things going for it. All right. The aesthetics are pretty good. I like that, but that doesn't make a movie. Right? It just makes it, it's not jarring or anything, but But it's simple. It's clean. There's not much to it. It's low budget, which is not a problem. If it's low budget, that's fine. But it's bare bones, minimal stuff. Most of the film takes place in essentially a cell with no door, with just a hole on the top, hole at the bottom, with the platform going down, and then very fast back up. Okay. And every now and then we're given a glimpse of the very top floor where they prepare the food, which, by the way, they spend so much time preparing this food. It's like so much time. It's like, are they even aware of what's going on in the pit? Maybe they're not. No one seems to know anything. Which, it's another thing. We'll get into that a little bit as well. There's a whole political commentary. This movie's like an allegory for it's criticism. It's critique on capitalism and communism and stuff like. But we'll dive into that first. Let's start with the highlights. What else? What else is good? The premise is intriguing, and it could have been a lot better. Could have been. The movie does go along pretty fast for 90 minutes. We're greeted with this, like I said at the beginning, starts with rich music, abundance of food. You see warm tones. You see the dialogue and exchange between our characters. When I first saw it, I was okay with it, but it's dubbed. Like you could tell. The second viewing, I couldn't. The second viewing, I noticed things that were like, why is the character saying this in this particular way? Like, there's a part where one character is like, you entered this facility for a doctorate's degree? And he says it in a way like he's never heard of a doctorate's degree. It's like, I wish I could enter this facility for that. I should get 2 doctorate's degree for what I'm going through. Anyway, I do like how the information does come out. I know we're kept in the dark for a lot of things about like how we know about the rules. We know about the rules. Like, we know that the platform comes down. We know that for about 2 minutes people are allowed to feed, and it goes back down. You can't keep the food in your cell, otherwise they'll either burn the cell up or they'll freeze you guys in there. So you have to throw it. Everything else seems fair game. You could fight each other, kill each other, eat each other. Rape the girl that comes down, or spend time. You can do whatever. And the most of the information is kind of given to you by the other prisoners, who would know stuff through like word of mouth, through like gossip, from what they've heard from other prisoners. And I keep on saying the word prisoner, but they're not. They're not really prisoners if they volunteered for this. When every single... I don't know if all the characters did, but from what we know in the movie, the ones that talk and tell their story, they all essentially have. Great. The gore is good. The gore scenes are awesome. I think that's what won me over the first time I watched it. The gore's top notch. If you want to see some brutal beatdowns, I mean, because they go into it and they're not shy about it, especially about the cannibalism. They start digging in and start eating human flesh. Well, of course, it's fake, but it looks real. At least it looks like how I'd imagine it would look. And they're very brutal about it. The dog. The dog's pretty dumb. But I like that they actually went there. The dog was... The one woman brought the dog in as her one item. Of course it was eaten. It was eaten by the Asian chick. Of course. Immediately. Immediately. It's not even... You can't even say it's racist because it's right there. Like you can see it. She's like looking at it. The nudity. There is some nudity. There's a nipple. There's this weird scene. It's a sex scene between our Cambodian female chick and our main guy. But it's like a daydream or some sort of dream. And then he wakes up to a dog licking his face. So was he trying to hump the dog too? I mean, it's weird. But he was humping something. Technically, I think this might pass the Joe Bob Briggs scale. It does have the 3 B's. You have bodies, you have blood, and you have boobs. But it's kind of blurry. I do like that there's misinformation in the movie. I do like that some characters didn't really know what they were talking about, and they're either lying to us directly, save a face, or okay. So the corporate chick, the administration chick, maybe she didn't know everything about the company. True, right? Every company has secrets. Every government has secrets, or certain things, certain information you're not allowed to know. But she knew enough that she would know to not go down there, right? But I do like that she was ignorant about things. She was like, no, there's no way there can be a small child in this facility. There's no way that the girl that goes down the platform once a month, there's no way she's looking for a kid. No way. First off, she's been in this facility voluntarily. She comes in every time on her own, and she's just killing people. She's killing people and eating them. Now, the odd part, the thing that really sticks with me about this film, is that it seems like the characters, they all should have known better. They all should have known about this place, right? And I think they didn't because of the writer. I think he didn't have a good explanation. I think the reason why we never saw the outside, not just to keep us in, I'd be surprised if the writer or the director even had an idea what was actually going on out there. I bet if he was asked, it makes some comparison to like real world struggles or suggests that it's intended to be a bare bone and obscure. Oh, that's right. He has been asked about this. He says it's a commentary about capitalism and communism, about how eventually one day we're going to need to spread the wealth, distribute the wealth. Okay. Yeah. And it hits you hard in the face, man, like a sledgehammer. It really does. Like, I could not see the Marx's Communist Manifesto, like, just illustrated right there. Oh, you have this one plate of food, this one banquet table of food, this platform going down. You have the fat pigs on top eating, and it just goes down for the scraps. So you're going to have to rebel and come together. You'd think that would happen. But no. No, not at all. Not at all. Not in the way you think. All right. Let me get to what I really don't like about this movie. All right. Here we go. I have 3 major gripes. 1, the characters are dumb. They're really dumb. And I could look the other way on this. But they have very confused motivations. Now, let's get into the motivations. So in a film like this, where prisoners are stacked on top of each other in this horrible prison, right, in this vertical shaft of hell, you would think that they would maybe work together. I mean, while some might be content to stay when it's their turn to gorge on the food, others down below would be, I don't know, compelled to maybe rebel or spark rebellion. Never once in this film, do we see anyone get on the platform when it goes back up. Not once. This movie opens up with our main character saying, hey, why don't y'all share the food? Hey, why don't we, be nice and talk to everybody? But that motivation is squashed real fast when his cellmate's like, don't bother with that communist talk. This is not going to work. Because they're not going to listen down below, and the people on top are not going to listen either. Okay? So our character is not motivated to do anything at that point. He just wants to stay, do his time. Okay, he does his time. He goes on even lower. He goes even lower. Now he's really oh, no, he can't be motivated then because he's instantly tied up to a bed. Tied up to a bed and about to be eaten. So his motivation then? Well, he can't do anything. He has to hope that someone saves him. Oh, someone does save him. The Asian chick. The Asian chick that, what was her reason to save him? Really no good reason. Did the Asian chick owe our main character any favors or anything? No, not at all. Not at all. There was one little act of kindness, kind of, sort of, but not. She saved him. She saved herself. He didn't do anything. Our main character's motivation in the film is situational. I mean, it seems like he's driven to help everyone along the way, if he can, if he's not in like, you know, bound to a table or whatever. When he does have a chance to wait to get out, he doesn't want to get out. He then decides when he's on the higher level, I think level 6, he's like, you know what? Oh, which by the way, the best part in this movie, okay. So when they're on level 6, our main guy wakes up. There's a black guy in the cell with. That's not even a cell on the level with him, and the black guy has a rope. It's a black guy with a rope. Okay, it sounds like I'm going with a bad joke here. You have a black guy with a rope, and he's pleading to the people on top to help him. Like, hey, I could throw him a rope up there, and you can bring me up, and then I keep on doing that and get out of here. Keep in mind that platform that they feed off of goes back up every time. You could just hitch a ride. Just hitch a fucking ride. You don't need a fucking rope. But he does this. When he tries to do it, he pleads with the people on top. Like, please, I beg of you, brings up God, brings up religion. The people on top, of course, they act like total dicks. Like, which God you pray to, huh? You praying to us now? Hey, honey. Apparently, he's in the people on top. The person on top is in a cell with his wife, which doesn't make any sense. How would that happen? How would that work if they're randomly assigned to cells? That wouldn't work. Anyway, the black guy throws the rope up there because they agree to help him. They get the rope. He's climbing up. What happens? The wife takes a shit on him. The wife takes a shit on the black guy. A turd goes right in his eye. He drops the rope. He's about to fall down. Our main guy saves him. Being a hero. And, I mean, you turd. Hit him right in the fucking eye. And that's when they get the great idea. You know what? Let's just go down this whole platform. Let's go down the whole platform and force people to share the food. We're going to make weapons out of her bed and go down and make sure people get their rations. So, really, if this movie is about if this movie's commentary on capitalism, I don't really see that. Because in a true capitalist society, like, you could, if you want to sell something, you could sell something. Like, if you want to start a business, you could start a fucking business. If you want access to money, you could get that. You can start selling. Go get a job. You know? Shit. It seems like more like a commentary for socialism, communism. Because you have that food there, but they're not going to ration it willingly. You gotta have someone who distributes it by force or uses force to make sure it's shared freely or equally. So yeah, they have to go there by force. They have to go there. They have weapons and they start, I guess, hitting people. Great stuff. Ooh. Yeah, Aaron, you're right. The writer had an idea. It would be good. It would be a better short story or a shorter film. 90 minutes, way too long for this. Way too long. Way too long. Way too long. Let's see. Other gripes. Man, that ending is the worst thing. Is there anything else about the... Oh, you know what? Actually, let me get into this. Before I talk about the ending. There's some people who think this movie's smart. This movie's not smart. This movie's actually pretty fucking dumb. It's pretty fucking retarded. The premise alone makes no sense. So, in that scene I described, the people on top were fat, kind of piggish. The people that are helping the black guy with the rope. How could that possibly be? If this facility, if the only source of food is from this center table, which is about the size, like I said, a queen-size bed, loaded with food, and it goes down, right, once a day. I'm saying once a day because from the movie, when the character's trying to defend or make sure it's shared off, make sure the rations are shared, or make sure the food is rationed, he tells the other people on the top floors that you guys could wait a day without food. Like, you're not going to eat this time, but people floor 50 or below are going to eat. You have to wait next day. So, okay, maybe once a day, this platform comes down. Okay. So the platform comes down maybe once a day, and you have 2 minutes of access to the food. 2 minutes. How are you eating enough to maintain any sort of weight? Let alone be fat. Be a fucking land well. That's not happening. That doesn't make any sense. That wouldn't happen at all. By the way, how's the stream doing? I'm getting like this yellow message here. Now, even if I'm wrong on that, even if the platform went down 3 times a day, because I really can't go by what the main character said, because there's no way he would know time, because there's no fucking clock on the wall. So there's no way he could keep track of time at all. So even if the platform went down 3 times a day with the same food every time, like it was a meal, like dinner, 2 minutes of access, that still wouldn't be enough time to really gorge as much. Keep in mind, you can't keep the food with you. You have 2 minutes to eat it, and that's it. So you eat it real fast, you shove the food down your throat, and we're not talking about like McDonald's or fast food or whatever. We're talking about, this is like it's fancy, like cooked food. It's prepared, it's fine, it's all that fancy stuff. They would have these stuff in their faces fast. A little bit of lag earlier. It doesn't make any sense that the characters would be fat like that, especially if they're being rotated in and out of being the top floor to bottom floor randomly, right? You would have characters that are struggling to maintain weight, like skeletal, like Holocaust skeletal, right? But no, that's not happening. Everyone seems like they have meat on their bones, you know? But I think there's a reason for that. I think we all can figure out what that reason. It's easier to sell greed when you have greed and injustice, when you have the people on top, say in that scene helping the black guy with the rope, be fat and piggish. Be that fat cat. You know? The capitalist fat cat. Or maybe the fat commie pig. As much I don't really agree, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't agree with the director's political leaning. I don't really care about that. I will say this about his commentary. It seems to be making commentary criticisms for both communism and capitalism. Though I don't recall people resorting to cannibalism in a capitalist society. I don't recall people doing that, especially now. Oh, man. But people think this movie's smart. It's not fucking smart, not at all. There's all other things. There's things that are completely overlooked. Like, what about diseases? What about illnesses and sicknesses that people could get? Think about it. When these characters have been in this facility for months, for years, and they're not using utensils when they eat. They're eating with their bare hands. That might be fine if it's like the first 4 or 5, maybe 6 levels. But if you're level 20 or 30, you're eating food that everyone else has already touched. And some people have been walking over this platform. They could do whatever. They could dance on it. They could piss on it. They could shit on it. There's no oversight at all. This actually might be a commentary on being a libertarian, if anything. Hey, what would happen if we just let people do whatever they want with this food? No one's sharing it. Chaos. I don't, you know. But so many other questions. Like, who's really running this facility? What about hygiene? How are they taking showers? How are they changing their clothes? How are they washing their clothes? You see a wash area. You see a sink and a shitter. You don't see toilet paper. Is there toilet paper? Do they have toilet paper? Do they have a TP crisis? I don't know. There's many questions. How are they cleaning the blood? Who's cleaning the blood and taking out the dead bodies? How does that happen? I couldn't tell you any of this. I couldn't tell you what sort of dystopia hellhole that they're in because the movie doesn't even tell you either. Not at all. I mean, how the administration scene took place in a fucking parking garage. I mean, maybe they're all underground. Maybe it's a nuclear winter, and this is what they have to do. This movie would have been a hell of a lot better if they made it where it was televised and there's people on the outside watching it for entertainment. That would make the movie better. That would be a statement on maybe capitalism. You know, if you really want to make commentary on capitalism, be like, you know what, this company runs this place, but they're also gonna. Not only are they going to force people to, well, they're going to make money off of it. They're going to make money off of it by selling ads, televising the whole thing, you know? Shit. But no. Let's see. The ending. I guess I'll get to the ending. So, at one point in the movie, our character's motivation is to help share the food and to spark some sort of change. Does it happen? No. It does not happen. Not at all. Not even close. In fact, our main character is so confused about what he wants to do. The moment he gets down to a couple floors, someone talks to him, and then it goes from sharing the food to then, we got to keep this one fancy dessert untouched so that it can make it to the very top to send a message to the administration. Okay, so then they do that. But then they don't. Because then they get into this fight, or he saves this chick, that Cambodian chick, from being killed, but she's ended up dead. They get into this fight. They almost get their ass kicked. They're badly injured. They're bleeding out. Our main character and the black guy are pretty much bleeding out on the food that they're supposed to be serving to everybody. At that point, you're seeing all these low levels. You're finding out how low this thing goes. There's no one left. People are fighting, dying, dead. And you get to the very bottom. The very bottom. And they find the little girl. There is a kid in there. There is a kid. And they decide, to give the dessert to the kid. That's the last food they have. That's the only thing that's left, which is fine. At that point, Instead of, I mean, at that point in the film, they decide, let's put the kid on the cart, put the kid on the platform, and let the kid be the message. Let the kid go back up to administration to be the message. Message to who? To them on top? Why? What is that going to do? Does it do something? I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it does. Because the movie doesn't tell you what it does. You don't get to see it. You never get to see it. What happens instead, you have the main character, right? He went down there, he was thinking he was going to help share everything. He saw the true horror of how deep this thing goes, realizing that he's not going to be able to share all this food. First off, they don't even get enough food to share to everyone in the first place. Okay, so I get why his motivation would change then. It's a much deeper problem. We found this kid down here. There's not supposed to be kids in this facility. Maybe if I go back up with this kid, it would show the people on top that, hey, you guys are running a shithole down here. Do you know that? Maybe if that was his motivation, that would make sense. It seems like it would be. But no, he doesn't go up there with the kid. He decides, he's not dead, mind you. He's not dead. He could crawl around. He rolls off the platform willingly because the hallucinations in his mind are telling him, you don't need to be the bearer of the message. You don't need to go up there. You could just stay down here, boy. Just stay down here. Let that kid go up there. And that's it. That's the movie. That's it. Our character sees the kid go up on the platform. We have no fucking idea what happens. Nothing. We don't know if it accomplished anything. I mean, that would be like in Star Wars, A New Hope, of Luke have the opportunity to, when he's about to blow up the Death Star, about to fire the torpedoes. Instead, he bells. For some reason, he bells. No. He could do it. He's right there. But what he decides to do, because he took some damage, R2-D2's kind of wounded, he's like, you know what? I don't need to do this. I'm just going to fly off and do my own thing. I'm just, I'm going to lay low. I'm just going to turn around and go home. Or not even go home. He doesn't leave. He just goes away. And that's it. You have no idea if the Death Star blows up or whatever. That'd be like if in Halloween, if Laurie Strode was run away from Michael Myers, saving the kid she's trying to babysit. And she's in the house. She sees an opening. The kids run out. She's like, kids, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Get here. Michael Myers, is coming. Just get out of here. Get out of here. But she decides to stay. She just stays in the house. The kids run into a cop car. Maybe there's a cop out there by the front door. Kids, come here. So the kids go out. But Laurie Strode decides to just stay in the house with Michael Myers. It is a terrible fucking ending. It doesn't make any sense why he would do that. His motivation to do that, what is it? Yeah, you're right, Aaron. If you just woke up and it was all a dream, that would be bad. That'd be real bad. He woke up, it was all a dream. And that's it. There's so many other good movies I'd rather watch. There's so many other mediocre movies I'd rather watch. I watch this other movie on Netflix. It's not the greatest either. It's also has a interesting premise. Maybe it's a little too long for its own good. In the Tall Grass. I enjoyed that movie a lot more than I enjoyed The Platform. The Platform, man. Yeah, not good. Not a good movie. I would not recommend this. I mean, you're probably gonna watch it anyway. The production isn't, like I said, there's moments that are okay. The violence is fine, the gore's fine, that stuff is pretty intense. The comedy is actually pretty good. I mean, you have a black guy with a rope that gets shit on by a fat white guy. Actually, by a white chick. Yeah, that's it, man. Not that good, not that good. There's other things I'd rather watch. I'd rather watch The Happening than watch this movie again. That's how bad this is. I'd rather watch The Happening. And that's a shitty movie. Yeah, thanks for keeping company in the chat, Aaron. So, what horror movie would you recommend? And I'll watch that one next. I've been watching a lot of movies since I've a lot of time on my hands now. Yeah, the I'm very deep types would definitely find this revolutionary and dumb. Like the people on Twitter, they're like pro communism because it's funny to find people on Twitter who are pro communism, yet they also want to sell stuff, like they want to sell their book. It's like, what are you talking about, man? The allegory part, I think, really fails in this movie. I think it does. I find it hilarious. I find it laughable that this tower, this hell tower, is supposed to be some sort of parallel to Western capitalism. On the lower levels, if you were to call the lower levels social economic status, I guess living in trailer parks, living in roach-infested apartments, living on the streets, I don't see a lot of cannibalism happening. Maybe in tent cities, but I don't see a lot of cannibalism there either, unless they're on PCP or something. There's a lot of heroin use. There's a lot of dumpster diving. But there's a lot of social services. In America right now, there's a lot of social services. As someone who is aware of, I'm aware of some people. I'm not going to name names. Some families that are below the poverty line, okay, and they eat very well. They get food stamps. They get food stamps where they can buy steak. They can buy good food. They can stay fed. No one's starving. There's no reason why there should ever be a kid starving here in America. There's no good reason. If a kid is starving, that's because either their mom is ignorant about what services exist and how to access them, which is weird because the hospitals tell you all about that if you read the pamphlets or you just talk to someone, or the mom is a lazy fucking idiot. Because the government, or through taxpayer money, will give you food, essentially. Through food stamps. They'll even give you health care, Medicaid. Look at that. So, because of the people because of the middle class, because of the people who are kind of paying their way, the people on the lower ends kind of get a handout. They get handouts. I'm not making any statement on that, but with that, the allegory crumbles. This allegory on capitalism, it just crumbles to shit. People want more money. Get a better job. Get a better job. What can I tell you? Create a business. Start something. It's hard. Yeah, sure. Fine. Yeah, I get it. It's hard for a lot of us. we're not eating each other. God damn. Anyway. Let me take a look there, Aaron. There's more proof that the current system is somehow closed or rigged, when clearly subpar content getting more green light for outrageous funding. Yeah. Last large-scale instance of cannibalism was in Stalin's gulags. Yeah, that's true. How are they doing in Venezuela? After the zoo animals, I mean, have they resorted to cannibalism? And I know some big brain individuals on Twitter will mention, I guess when the grocery stores were hit pretty hard, when the whole COVID thing happened. But the big difference there is that it sounded like the supply lines were cut. The shelves were gone, were barren for a little bit. And not everything was taken. There was some stuff that were just left behind. But it's like the supply line is still there. The trucks are still coming in. And people are just panic buying because they got roped into that. Hysteria. Yeah. I think that's going to wrap up the review. I think next week, there's a few movies I've seen already that I haven't said anything about, like The Apostle. That was actually okay. That was all right. I didn't have a problem with that film. It was weird. It was savage. It was brutal. But it was all right. It was good. There's an actual argument. Some of them are using print more money. Yeah, just print more money. Just print. It worked well. It always works so. It always works well, doesn't it? Just print more money. Well, I got my Trump checks, and I'm already using that. I guess I'll take that. Anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap this up here. Thanks, Aaron, for keeping company in the chat. And yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's harder to spread the word on the live streams now. But yeah, every Monday I do reviews, movie reviews. Wednesday I kind of mix it up. I think this Wednesday have another real life vampire that wants to tell his side of the talk about what it's like to be a real life vampire. Yeah, I'll talk to him. And Friday have a pretty good guest coming on, so should be pretty cool. Anyway, you take it easy.